Some builds make you feel strong, some make you feel tanky. And then there are builds like this one that straight up make you feel immortal. Because once it gets rolling, you're throwing shield throws back to back, generating non-stop overshields, weakening everything in front of you, and healing through Devour so hard that enemies literally cannot kill you fast enough to matter. This Void Titan setup is one of the most ridiculous power fantasies I've played in a long time, because you're dealing insane damage, chaining void explosions, feeding your abilities endlessly, and turning every fight into a one-sided slaughter where you just keep moving forward. Welcome to Insightful Gaming, and today we're breaking down a Void Titan build that pushes Sentinel to the absolute limit, combining constant overshields, massive weaken uptime, and devastating void weapon synergy to create a playstyle that feels unstoppable in both solo and high difficulty content. If you want to run this build with me, make sure to join the Discord linked in the description. Come play some activities, and feel free to join my clan if you're looking for a group. Now let's get into the setup and show you how this build turns your Titan into an unkillable void god. For our exotic armor, we're using Doomfang pauldrons. And this is what turns shield throw from a strong melee into the engine that drives the entire build, because the Horns of the Doom perk rewards you constantly for dealing void damage by ramping up your damage and feeding your super at the same time. Every void melee kill gives you super energy. Every void weapon kill helps keep that damage bonus rolling. And once you activate Sentinel Shield, the exotic goes completely crazy, because melee kills recharge your shield throw and extend your super duration every time you hit a target. That means once your super starts, it can last far longer than intended, letting you chain throws, block damage, and clear entire rooms without dropping it. For our weapons, we're fully leaning into void synergy and seasonal artifact interactions, starting with the Grid Skipper Pulse Rifle as our primary, because the combination of Repulsor Brace and Destabilizing rounds is perfect for this build, giving you constant overshields every time you defeat weakened or volatile targets, while also spreading void explosions through groups effortlessly. This pairs directly with your shield throws and vortex grenades, since you're weakening enemies non-stop, meaning Grid Skipper is almost always refunding survivability while clearing rooms. For our exotic weapon, we're using the Praxic Blade, which is insanely strong this season and fits naturally into the build, because it gives you reliable close-range damage and sword synergy for seasonal mods without requiring any setup beyond aggressive play. And for our heavy weapon, we're using the time-lost corrective measure with Destabilizing rounds and Demoralize, which lets you weaken enemies on hit while also triggering volatile explosions, making it perfect for melting mages, champions, and entire waves, while feeding Devour and Doomfang's void damage bonuses. Together, this weapon setup ensures that nearly every kill you get spreads void debuffs, generates overshields, and keeps your damage and survivability ramped at all times. For our subclass, we're running Void Sentinel, and everything here is built around non-stop shield throws, permanent overshields, and overwhelming survivability, starting with Sentinel Shield as our super, because Doomfang pauldrons let it last far longer than normal by extending the super on melee hits while you clear rooms safely. Our class ability is Rally Barricade, so we can activate Bastion frequently and keep overshields rolling at all times. Our void melee is Shield Throw, which is the core of the build, bouncing between enemies to weaken them, generate overshields, and feed our entire loop. Our grenade is Vortex Grenade, chosen for its strong area control and synergy with weaken effects. Our aspects are Bastion and Offensive Bulwark, where Bastion grants overshields when using Barricade, and Offensive Bulwark boosts your melee damage, grenade effectiveness, and melee regeneration while you have an overshield, which in this build is almost always. For fragments, we're using Echo of Persistence to extend the duration of Devour and overshields, Echo of Reprisal to generate super energy when defeating enemies while surrounded, Echo of Undermining so your grenades weaken targets, and Echo of Remnants to increase the duration of your vortex grenades. Together, this setup keeps you shielded, healing, generating super energy quickly, and weakening enemies non-stop while you dominate every engagement. For your stats in this build, you want to prioritize weapon stat first and push it above 100 as early as possible because it improves handling, swap speed, and damage consistency for your void weapons. Then get your class ability stat to 100, so Rally Barricade is always available to trigger Bastion and keep Overshields active. And finally push your grenade stat over 100 so your Vortex grenades stay on a short cooldown to maintain weaken uptime. Once those thresholds are met, continue stacking weapon stat toward 200 to maximize damage output and keep the entire build feeling fast, aggressive, and constantly online. For armor mods, we're building entirely around feeding your shield throw loop, keeping barricade uptime high, and generating orbs to sustain Devour and Overshields. So on the helmet we run Heavy Ammo Finder to support your machine gun damage phases, Harmonic Siphon to generate orbs from rapid void weapon kills, and Dynamo to build super energy whenever you activate Rally Barricade near enemies. On the gauntlets we use Melee Kickstart to refund shield throw energy when you spend it, Impact Induction so melee hits feed grenade energy, and Bolstering Detonation to push class ability energy whenever your Vortex grenade deals damage, tying your melee, grenade, and barricade cooldowns together. On the chest piece, you simply slot whatever defensive resistance mods are needed for the activity you're running to stay safe while playing aggressively. On the boots, we run Recuperation for instant healing on orb pickup, Insulation to reduce barricade cooldown when collecting orbs, and Innovation to refund grenade energy at the same time, keeping your weaken loop active. And on the Titan mark, we use Reaper, so your first weapon kill after using Barricade creates an orb, Outreach to reduce melee cooldown when activating Barricade, and Bomber to reduce grenade cooldown every time you drop your class ability. All of these mods work together to keep your abilities cycling non-stop, your Overshields active, and your shield throws coming back as fast as you can throw them. For seasonal mods, we're focusing strictly on the Void perks that supercharge our Weaken and Devour loop, starting in the third row with Power from Pain, which is absolutely essential because rapid final blows against weakened enemies grant you Devour, making this the primary way you stay fully healed and effectively immortal throughout every fight. In the fourth row, we take Singularity Blade, which fits perfectly into this build because while you have a Void Elemental buff, your melee and sword hits weaken targets, and melee or sword final blows create a weakening burst, letting your shield throws and Praxic Blade spread weaken effects without relying entirely on grenades. And finally, in the last row, we grab Void Infestation, which causes defeated weakened enemies to spawn a tracking projectile that flies out and weakens additional targets, allowing weakened chains to jump across entire groups automatically. Together, these seasonal mods ensure Weaken is always active, Devour is always refreshing, and every kill feeds directly back into your survivability and damage loop. This Void Titan build turns you into a non-stop shield throw machine with constant Overshields, permanent Devour, and Weaken effects everywhere you look, making you feel completely unkillable while dealing absurd amounts of damage in any activity. If you want to run this build with me, join the Discord in the description, come play some activities, and feel free to join my clan if you're looking for a fire team. Thanks for watching Insightful Gaming, and I'll see you in the next one.